What up? It's the PAC, man. All things physician associate. And in this video, I want to talk about how to thrive in PA school, man. And shout out to Wendy, man, who just got into PA school, man. This video is for you. So let's get into it. So in PA school, the very first thing you're gonna notice is it's a whole lot of politics, man. It's too many people in one room with too many personalities, man. And the same ish that you would encounter in like an office where there's just a lot of gossip and drama, all that stuff applies to PA students, man. We're just humans. It does not change. It's not like you just collected, let's say you have a cohort of 50 to 75 students. These are 50 to 75 very smart individuals, and yet still, it's the same ish, man. Humans are humans, man. We love drama, man. I don't know what it is about us, so just whatever, man. You gotta funnel that. You just gotta hone in and focus, man, because seriously, like, the drama is just, it's debilitating, man. It's a mental crippling. Like, it's hard to focus when there's just so much drama going on like that, man. So my recommendation is, one thing I noticed, I can only speak to my own experience. One thing I noticed in my class, man, is everyone kind of almost felt like high school, in the sense of everybody immediately went off into like little cliques, man. And by going off into these little cliques, everyone was kind of just like, these are the five, 6 people I study with. When I say cliques, it's like your study group. But I learned right away, man, that you got to get into the right group. Certainly don't try to do it by yourself. I don't recommend that at all. For the most part, I study alone. I'm a loner when it comes to that. But I recognize right away that there's just no realistic way to do it alone. And the reason for that is because sometimes, the PA program is primarily structured, at least pre-COVID, it's primarily structured like a Monday through Friday. Like, our program was almost 7 to 7. Like, class started at 8, but you get there at 7, start reviewing some stuff before a test or something. So I felt, it's a 12-hour day, 5 days a week type of setup, man. And what I realized is sometimes after a professor just plows through like 7 PowerPoints, 100 plus slides each, and says, all right, that's it, we're done. As soon as we take a little 10-minute break and come back, and another professor opens up their PowerPoints, and it's just talking and lecturing and they don't want us they want us to just focus on what's being taught at the present time. But at the end of the day, there's a test this afternoon that was from information from a few days ago. So it's like my brain is trying to get ready for this test. I haven't slept studying for that test, yet you're throwing all this new information at me. As soon as you give me a 10-minute break, I'm only going to review for the test that's coming up in a couple of hours, not for this information you just lectured, that the test is not going to be for another 48 hours or whatever, or 72 hours. So it's like, man, it just happens so fast. It's tough, man. So I realized you can't do it by yourself. So I sometimes, I was in multiple groups trying to just figure out like where's the best, like which group would most benefit me the most, and which group can I benefit the most. And I realized that with one group, the way they did it ultimately didn't work for me, but it was an amazing strategy. It was about 5 of them, and they pretty much went ahead and split up the work in the sense of like, look, man, it's 5 PowerPoints, it's 5 of us. Each person gets 1 PowerPoint, and they're going to summarize in layman's term the entire, you're going to create like just a study sheet of the entire PowerPoint. And that's all we're going to have to study off of, okay? So when each of us finish the PowerPoint, we're going to send each other the study guide, or put it on like a drive, and that's all you get. So everybody's gonna have 5 study sheets, and that's all you're gonna have to review. If you don't understand something in the study sheet, then you got to go out of your way and look into it a little more to get a better understanding. But that's it. That's how we're gonna be able to get through this. So everybody's responsible for like one PowerPoint. I was like, man, that's a great strategy, but I learned different, so it just didn't work for me. But I was like, damn, that's good. And I jumped out of that group, jumped into another group and see what they're doing. The way the other group was doing it was they literally created like a nice little setup of about 7 of them, and each 7 had their own different skill set. Like they all came from a different background, so they all knew a little bit. They were all the masters of something. Like one of them was a telemetry tech, so he had an amazing EKG background. The other one was a firefighter paramedic, so he had an amazing like cardio and emergency medicine. Like everyone had their own thing that they're good at, so they all literally sat there and allowed like the EKG guy to lecture, like recap lecture on the material. And I thought, wow, that was amazing. I actually did good on some of those tests, but I thought still not my group. And ultimately it ended up I ended up joining with just me and one other person in the class who was a registered nurse in PA school, which is unusual. Because they could have just done the nurse practitioner route, and him and I just pretty much just stuck together because my strength was his weakness and vice versa. My weakness in PA school was pharmacology. RNs, they know their stuff, they know their drugs, man. So that was he didn't even have to study for those tests. That's all he knows, and that was my weakness. So he explained stuff to me that just made it so much easier. And then his weakness was pathophysiology. I had a background of teaching anatomy and physiology, and I already understood the human body. So all you have to do is add the disease to it, and it just made sense to me. So that was his weakness. So then we just kind of just stuck together. Like, look, man, I help you, you help me, fair. And we got through all of PA school, man. And so I thought, you got to find right away. Don't get stuck in a certain way, thinking that's the only way you're going to be able to study or what have you. Or don't say just because I did, if you did good in one test by studying one way, don't assume that way applies to all tests in all classes. You just got to keep adapting and overcoming, man. So just a little bit of advice for those of you in PA school, man. Just hang in there and suck it up. It's not fun. It is what it is, First semester of my PA program was 9 classes, man. 9 hard classes, man. It was just like a meltdown, instant meltdown. But so what, man? That's what pressure makes diamonds, You guys are brilliant, shiny diamonds, man. So best of luck to you guys in PA school, man. Love you guys.